Look at AT&T. AT&T charges you for how much broadband you use. They can turn around and just say, okay, if you want to watch our competition, we can't stop you. Legally, we can't stop you. But we can do everything possible to make it in your best interest to go along with our brand. So we'll block this access to this site or these sites, and you'll have to pay us extra to be able to access these sites. And people are so oblivious to certain habits that some of these corporations have that are they're already exhibiting as it is. Do you know that all of the phones that you get, all of the cell phones, when they're bought by the companies, whether it be Verizon, T-Mobile, Sprint, Apple, they're all unlocked with all the features wide open, meaning that you can have your phone being used as a modem, have data being transferred over to a via Wi-Fi and creating your own hotspot. These phones come with this right from the box. These phones have no proprietary company attached to them. All of that stuff comes after it goes through the hands of the carrier. Then the carrier locks the phone, where the phone can only be used by this particular carrier. Then they block out the feature of being able to use your phone as a modem, and we'll only give it to you as an extra charge per month if you want to use this feature, even though you're paying for broadband service on your phone. We're not going to allow you to use it on your laptop because that's a way of us generating extra revenue. This is the same Verizon that does this now on your cell phones. You don't think that they're going to do that when it comes to content? Think about it. This is how this is another revenue stream for them, a new revenue stream, because the technology has actually outpaced the broadcasters. Nobody had any idea that the internet was going to be as powerful as it is today, meaning that you'd be able to get news from another source other than ABC, NBC, CBS, CNBC, CNN, Fox News. They're all full of shit. How can you look at the same news story and get a completely different spin on the same news? You listen to the same stories. The story hasn't changed, but the spin is completely from CNBC, MSNBC, Fox News. It's like night and day. You're listening to the same story, but it's night and day. When they're done spinning it, it's a whole different story. If these companies such as Verizon have already exhibited this bad habit in the past of blocking certain features because they see it as being able to create a new revenue stream down the line, they're going to do exactly the same thing when it comes to broadband when they are the only two games in town. It's inevitable that they're going to do this. It's inevitable. And anyone who thinks that this was, done for other nefarious reasons other than this, you're fooling yourself. When it gets down to it, it's all business. It's a cartel. It's basically a power grab. If you don't come to me, you got to go to him. And once you go to him, me and him have already spoken, and we already decided how much the price is going to be. So you know what? It may be a penny less here, a penny less there, but no significant difference between the two. And you're stuck in the middle with no choice. It was once said by Rockefeller during the robber baron days back in the early 1900s, late 1800s, early 1900s. And I quote, Rockefeller said, "Competition is a sin." And they see competition as being a sin. Because competition, once you have competition in the game, it's very unpredictable to know how much you're going to be worth from day to day. Some upstart can come out of nowhere and just throw a whole monkey wrench in your plan. You thought that you'd be making this amount of money by this time, and you're struggling to make a quarter of what you were making last year. So what these big companies do, they eliminate the competition by buying them. Now you don't even have the option of leaving, let's say, one state on the East Coast to go to another state on the East Coast to have a different cable company or a different service provider. Because this monster is going to be so huge that you're running out of places to run. You can't go anywhere to get away from them. This was the point from the start. Corporations see competition as a sin. They'd rather just have a few at the top that control everything, have mutual respect for each other, not to rock the boat, make everyone think that there's a choice, but they really don't have a choice. Doesn't that sound familiar? That sounds a lot like the political system that we live in. The illusion of a choice. The illusion of inclusion. I don't see this ending well at all. But, again, that's just my take on it.